am at the city gate, at the capital of the Northern Song dynasty. I'm about to pay tribute to the emperor in the way that people used to 1,000 years ago. Join me in my journey into the city now known as Kaifeng. Welcome to Travelogue. I'm Michelle Lean.
There's an old saying that describes Kaifeng entirely. Kaifeng is a great feast for the eyes and the mouth with its numerous historical relics and delicious snacks. Located in the eastern Henan province, Kaifeng was once the capital of 6 dynasties and is now listed as one of the 7 ancient capitals in China. To get to Kaifeng from Beijing, you should first take a plane to the city of Zhengzhou, and from there, it's only an hour car or bus ride away. There's an old Chinese saying, things stay the same, but people don't. But that's not always true. Even after thousands of years, one man has remained in the hearts and minds of the locals in Kaifeng, Lord Bao. A judge from the Song dynasty, renowned for his sense of fairness, he was nicknamed Bao Qingtian, or Unclouded Sky Bao.
秦香莲，你状告哪一个？
当朝驸马陈世美。
什么？
Through generations, Lord Bao has been a model of justice and morality for the Chinese people, known for his uncompromising stance against corruption among government officials and his intolerance for criminals, regardless of their status. In his court, the guilty never went unpunished.
I've just been told that this is the courtroom where Lord Bao used to judge the lawsuits that were brought to him. And when he sentenced somebody to death, he would use the dragon for the royal family, the tiger for the upper class, and the dog for the common person.
包拯为了大宋江山，为了庶民百姓，不怕丢掉乌纱，也要将你定斩不饶。
At the city hall in Kaifeng, there's a stone tablet with all the names of all the officials that once worked here. But so many people have come here and touched Lord Bao's name that you can barely make it out now.
We're looking at these wax figurines that depicted Lord Bao's trials. And while this here on his coat might look like a dragon, in fact it's not. It's a big snake, and it's his status that allows him to wear something so similar to the emperor's robes. Even these little things on his head right here, the longer they are, I've just been told, the more important and the more powerful and the higher rank he is. I mean, you've also got to take a look at all these other figurines. They're very important figures in Chinese history, and if you look carefully, each wax figure has been placed, like each hair has been placed strand by strand into its faces. It's really quite amazing. Like, it's just so similar to Madame Tussauds in London.
The Song dynasty was one of the most prosperous periods in China's history, and while the city is no longer in its full glory, when you come here, you'll still be able to experience the richness of its history and culture through replications and reenactments of these past days. It might seem cheesy to some, but they're also entertaining to watch, and it gives the audience a sense of what Kaifeng used to be. In China, and especially in Kaifeng, the place where Lord Bao lived and worked, he maintains a deep influence on the people, and his name is synonymous with justice. Because of his uncompromising beliefs, Lord Bao often had conflicts with other powerful members of the imperial court. At one point, he had 30 high officials demoted or dismissed for corruption, bribery, or dereliction of duty. This quiet, ancient memorial hall, not far from the city hall, is a place where people are able to come to pay tribute to him. And don't be surprised if you meet someone who reveres Lord Bao as a god. If you haven't heard of the Shaolin monks or the temple, you obviously aren't watching enough television. The Henan province has a long history of Kung Fu. While the most famous is the renowned Shaolin Temple, even in the temples of Kaifeng, you might get lucky and catch novice Kung Fu students at practice. These young Bruce Lees in training take their art seriously. Just look at the determination in their faces. Located at the 1,000-year-old Shangguo Buddhist temple in Kaifeng, the 1,000-handed Buddha sits in the center of an octagon-shaped hall called the Arhat Hall. The most amazing thing about the statue is that, aside from its sheer size and beautiful craftsmanship, it's that it's made from a single ginkgo tree. With 1,000 hands carved and 1,000 eyes painted on a 5-sided Buddha, it's so easy to be in awe of its entire magnificence. Each of the 1,000 hands of the golden Buddha statue has an eye painted on its palm. It is said that the eye on the palm symbolizes protection from evil. Another interpretation, well, one that I prefer actually, is that Buddha is all-seeing and all-helping.
Embroidery is one of China's most famous art forms. Look at how beautiful and intricate it is. They use different widths of string and color to create an illusion of depth and shade.
Embroidery is one of the most commonly seen art forms in China. At the Chinese Bian Embroidery Factory, you'll see workers duplicating famous ancient Chinese art pieces such as Kaifeng's river scene at Qingming Festival, and turning them into intricately sewn embroidery paintings. But it's not all traditional. These embroiderers now use heavier stitching and a wider range of colors to create lifelike portraits and duplicates of famous oil and water paintings. Anything really. Each stitch is sewn by hand and with such care that every time a mistake is made, it's redone. I can't even begin to imagine how much patience is needed to do that.
With a needle in hand, these ladies weave color into the canvas, pouring their heart and soul into every piece.
他们穿衣裳不打算。
Crushed peanuts and honey are combined to create this famous local snack. Huashanggao, or peanut paste, is first boiled together to create a sticky paste that's dried out and then beaten to create sweet, fluffy squares of peanutty goodness. They taste a little like the peanut wafer part that you get from a Butterfinger, but the texture is lighter and a little less sweet. If you come to Kaifeng, you'd best bring a couple of these back as souvenirs. No one should miss out on these. In this theme park, you can take a journey back in time to glorious days of the Song Dynasty and experience what it must have been like for the residents of this capital city. Kaifeng is a place rich in culture and history, and if you go down to the older parts, you'll see that the buildings are never taller than 3 levels, for fear that digging too deep would destroy the old city buried below. In fact, while we were visiting, an ancient tomb was discovered right in the middle of the city.
I'm dead.
The locals really care about their history and put in a lot of effort to recreate and preserve the former glory and richness of the city. It's really amazing to see the modern lives of the people and how deeply rooted their lives are in their heritage. From their perseverance, you'd never even guess how many times the city has been plagued by tragedy. Frequent floods, invasions, and dynastic disintegration have all taken place here. But while these tragedies destroyed many of the buildings in Kaifeng, the city continued to overcome adversity by rebuilding their lives. Because of their ancestors' dedication, the locals today are now able to enjoy and retell their history. Beginning in the Song Dynasty and leading up to present day, cockfighting enthusiasts in Kaifeng have maintained a code to play by, valuing principles over favoritism. There is a practice that allows roosters to be given away freely, but the recipient is not allowed to transfer it to others or breed it with hens. But really, in order for that to happen, you have to be a real enthusiast before you could be deemed worthy of receiving one. It's said that cockfighting enthusiasts in Kaifeng often love their roosters more than they do their own children.
So that's 556 minus... You know what? I'm so much better at using a calculator. But this abacus here is a symbol for wealth, prosperity, and business. At this business hall, or rather a club, where people used to come and meet, network, and exchange ideas, trade, and interact with each other. It's pretty cool.
The Kaifeng Shanshangan Guildhall is an architectural must-see in Kaifeng. With a history of over 200 years, the Guildhall is renowned for its stone, brick, and wood sculptures that are exquisitely elaborate and lifelike. The traditional North Region-style architecture and design are showcased in the columns, panels, and rooftops of the building. Intricate carvings line the place that was once a home away from home for businessmen from the Shaanxi province. The most famous carvings here are that of the dragon, and the detail is so precise that even the pearl in its mouth is carved into a perfectly shaped ball. In 1642, Kaifeng was flooded with water from the Yellow River by the Ming Dynasty army to prevent a peasant rebel by the name of Li Zhicheng from taking over. The city was abandoned, but today you'll find remnants of the old city buried under this lake. A new city atop an old. After the Yellow River flood, the only building that remained from the Song Dynasty period was the Iron Pagoda. Built in 1049, the Iron Pagoda is one of the earliest constructions made of glazed bricks and tiles in China. Don't be fooled by its name. It was actually named Iron Pagoda because of the iron-gray color of its glazed bricks. Standing at 55 meters high, this octagon-shaped tower resembles a pillar carved with intricate patterns of Buddhas, flowers, human figures, and legendary animals. It's not hard to appreciate the fine workmanship from the Song Dynasty. The details in the carvings are amazing, and in different lighting conditions, you'll see the beautiful change of color from the glazed tiles.
I've just gone up 13 levels of the Iron Pagoda. I wouldn't recommend it if you're claustrophobic, but I love heights, so I had to see the view from up top. And I'll tell you this, it is so amazing and totally worth it.
We travel off the beaten track to the town of Zhuxian, a quaint place not far from Kaifeng, in search of some peace and quiet. It's nice to get away from the hustle and bustle of Kaifeng for a while, and it feels so relaxed being here.
It seems like this is a wood carving of some sort, but he's making really intricate dents into the wood, and it doesn't seem like it's just wood. What do you think it's for? Oh. 你画的.
With a history of over 800 years, Zhuxian Town woodblock mirror pictures are one of the oldest folk woodblock arts in China. Local people still use the traditional printing techniques to produce these now.
That's pretty good for a beginner, I reckon. Each painting has 5 colors, and each color has to be matched to the right spot. And that takes years and years and years of practice before somebody is able to achieve that. So I'm going to stick to doing the black outline for now.
The first wooden block prints the black and white outline. Traditionally, 5 colors are used for the Zhuxian print, which means 5 other blocks of wood need to be carved at the exact part and matched up to the area in the painting that requires that color. This traditional art form is often seen on the doors and walls of houses around New Year, but they're so beautiful that they're often left all year round. Once the print is done, it's aired over a coal flame for a quick dry before being hung outside to complete the process. Woodblock prints are available around China, but Zhuxian has its own unique style and themes. The usual themes are exorcising ghosts and conferring blessings, gods and customs, and theatrical and historical legends. In Zhujian prints, the lines are simple and strong, and the people depicted in the paintings have big heads and small bodies.
I'm helping to prepare for the Chrysanthemum Festival that occurs annually in mid-October.
Chrysanthemums are the golden flower in Chinese culture. Blooming in autumn as others fade, it symbolizes robustness and nobility. It also happens to be Kaifeng's city flower. Every year, thousands and thousands of chrysanthemums are grown to prepare for the annual Kaifeng Chrysanthemum Festival, which takes place around October. It was so refreshing to see these two sisters walking amongst the chrysanthemum pots, just enjoying some of Mother Nature's gifts. On a day-to-day basis, though, the lives of people in Kaifeng are simple and understated. They enjoy the simple pleasures of life, and while it might not be as glorious as it once was in the Song dynasty, the people of the city still maintain the nobility of their ancestors. The Kaifeng Night Market at the ancient Tower Square is one of the most famous throughout China. People from as near as the neighboring town of Zhengzhou and visitors from various parts of China come here to sample the local snacks.
I love night markets. Whenever I go traveling, I love seeing what local people like to eat, and I love the energy, the hustle, the bustle, and all these various different things that, you know, the locals enjoy. Half of these things I haven't even seen before. I mean, this lady here, she's making little dumplings, and I've had dumplings, but mostly at Chinese restaurants, and like, to see it being freshly made right in front of you is just fantastic stuff.
Lit by fluorescent lights of the stalls, it's hard to just walk past the rows of uniformed carts, the welcoming calls of the vendors, and the symphony of clattering dishes. The only problem is deciding what to eat. In Kaifeng, they don't have a unique nightlife, but people still enjoy their night food markets. Kaifeng's night food market is famous across China for their glorious suppers. There's so many delicious snacks on offer, like braised fish, dumplings, baked meat cakes with beef fillings, sweet porridge, almond tea, stewed pears. Oh, I could just go on. These different snacks guarantee that there'll be something for everyone.
Wow. I think it's gonna be a combination of bean sprouts and smells like onion and spring onion and he's mixing it with some vegetables. That's a pretty healthy supper.
The different quarters of the market specialize in different snacks, so make your way to Boat Market if you're after some liangfen. Or try the steamed dumplings called xiaolong baozi, which are my personal favorite. Let me tell you, you've never tried a real dumpling until you've popped one of these little pieces of heaven into your mouth. There's even a special technique for eating them, but you'll just have to visit to learn it.
Good. I'm going to have some of this for sure, right now. Oh my god. It is so good.
For the more adventurous eaters, shoot over to the crossroads at Geo Road, where you'll find dozens of stalls selling chicken blood soup. I'm not entirely sure that's my thing, though. But for the more conservative carnivores, check out the roast chicken, beef, and mutton vendors at Beidao Gate or the wonton stalls at Wuchao Gate. The market is open all night long, so if you feel like a little midnight snack or 3 a.m. post-alcohol grub, you'll be spoilt for choice. And after that, if you feel like a little tour of the town, take a rickshaw from the night market back to the hotel. I fully recommend it. Kaifeng is a glorious old city with around 3,000 years of history, and today still retains much of the charm, mostly in a small area enclosed by the old city walls. The city wall has been destroyed so many times. The wall you're looking at is only 150 years old. The Song dynasty was one of the most prosperous periods in China's history. While the city is no longer in its full glory, when you come here, you'll still be able to experience the richness of its culture and history through replications and reenactments of these past days.
This journey has been full of both history and culture. I feel as if I've absorbed it just by being here. I hope you've enjoyed Kaifeng as much as I have. In the meantime, keep those bags packed, and I'll see you next time on Travelogue. This is Michelle Lin.